Hey, welcome back to my channel. This week we're gonna build the third part of a series of videos about how to create a plugin using the ACF. If you missed the first and the second part, the link is on the description and the project is on my GitHub, and you also can find the link under the video description below. I am Donini and I'll be your host. Okay, so today we have three main topics. The first one is how we can get the message that we have registered on the WP admin. Today we will create a function to get this message. And the second topic is how we can define the template that will be displayed on the front end. I mean the proper HTML and what you need to show in the front end. And the third and the most important thing is how we can insert this message dynamically on the front end. Because I don't know if you already know, but when we set using the set cookie function of the PHP and we try to get the value of some cookie over the global variable cookies, we don't have the value of this recently cooked set. So this is why, in this case, the best option is to do this by JavaScript. And probably we need to create something like an Ajax call to identify if the cook is set and display or not the message for the user on the front end. Let's see how we can get the last message registered on the WP admin. So I will go back to our main function, or main class, sorry, and I will write a new function there, something like public function get message. And to get the posts, I will use the most simple function that we have inside, build it in WordPress, which is get posts. And I will return directly the post, the post type message and the last message registered inside the WP admin. So to do this, I will create an array to pass the correct attributes. In this case, I need to pass the number posts, which will be just one. I need to set the order by desk. I'll pass the order field, order, which in my case is menu order. And of course I need to pass the correct post type, which in our case is just message. Post type message, and I just want to show the published message that we have inside. So I will also use the post status as publish. Okay, so this is all that we need to get the last post, the last message registered on the WP admin. So now let's take a look on the template that we will display. And keep in mind that we go back to this function, we need to use this function inside another function that will insert the message on the front end. Now we need to create our template. So I like to separate my templates from the rest of my code, and to do this I include the file of the template in the proper path, the proper space on my code. And like I said, I like the things separate, and I will create on the root of my project a folder called TPL, and inside of this folder I will put my file, my message template. I will call this like a template message.php. Okay, so it's very simple. Have just a few fields. Let's review these fields. So we have the content, we have the destination where the message will display it on the front end, we have the background and the text color, and of course we have the padding, the text padding, the distance between the text and the box of the message. So now we can go back to our code and we can start creating our message. To do this, I would like to use something like a div with the class message, and I will call the class alert as well. And inside of this div, I will put a paragraph with the class called text, and I will put an anchor element, which will be the close button. Okay, so talking about the parameters, like the background color and the padding of the box, I would like to set these directly on the style inline of the element. So I will create a style and I will add the background color, and I will pass my variable echo escape attributes. Don't forget to use these escapes because it's very important. So I'll call this this variable like background color. We need to have the padding of this element as well, and I will pass here the padding value, text padding. Okay. Other stuffs that we have are, for example, the color of the background, and I pass the same way like that, an inline style. Whoops. The color, I will copy this because it's more simple and productive. I will change just the name of the variable, and I will pass the same style for my button. Okay, now we need to present the content of our message, and in this case I will show like the content. Okay, that's it. I will use an X to represent the close button of my template, and I think that's it. With this, we have our template ready. Now let's think how we can insert this message. Like I said on the beginning, the main idea is to insert the message using an Ajax call. So I try to create the backend function that will represent this call and this display for the front end by JavaScript. So let's go back to our main class, and we can now create a new function to display this code on the front end. I will call this function like an insert message. Okay, and the first thing that we need to have is the message, the main message that we will display. So I will create a new variable called message, and I will use now that function that we create to get the message, like the get message or internal class function. And with this I have the latest, the most recent message registered on the front end. And To display or not, I need to know if the user agree with the conditions or hint the close button. I will call this variable, this parameter, like agreed. And I will get this parameter from the Ajax call. Inside the Ajax call, I will call this as agreed. And another important information, if you remember, we decided to show in all the pages our message or in a specific page. And if you are displaying this message in a specific page, we need to know the post type. So the post type is another information that we need to have here, the post ID. So this get parm post ID. Okay, it's very simple. If the user already agree or close the message, we don't need to do anything. So for this, we need to test if the user already agreed. The value of this variable will be something like a boolean inside or cookie. So this is why I'm trying to test if this value is empty or not, because if we set, the cookie will be set. And I would like to test if the result of our get message function is something like an array. Testing this, we know if the result of our query is returning something. And if is returning something, I will pass this value getting the first element of our array, which is the most newest message registered inside the system. Okay, now we need to test if the variable current is not empty as well. And inside of this, we can implement the main business rule of the message that we display on the front end. If the user not agree, we need to display. And if you have the current message loaded inside the current variable, we can now start to get the values of our fields. So I will get the content. I will call all of my variables like message something. The first one is the content, which is very simple. We have the post loaded on the current variable. So we just need to get the post content. The second one is message, is where we want to show the message. I don't remember all the name of the fields. Let's review these fields. Okay, it's show where. Where is my ID? Show where. And in the ACF, to get a value of one of these custom fields, we just need to use the get field function, which is a built-in function for the ACF field. We can pass the name of the field, and in this case I like to pass the post ID because we have more. I'm not using the loop here to get a context of an object for my post, so I will pass directly the ID. It's only ID. Okay, the other field will be the page where we want to display. What is the name of this field? It's what page. Same thing. Here's the, we need to use the get field, pass the value, and pass the ID. Okay, the next one probably is something like the background color, background color, get field, okay, we have the current ID. Get the value, it's background color. Okay, the other one is probably the text color. Text color, get field. Same thing, we need to pass value, current ID. Let's get the field, text color, and the last one is the padding, the text padding, get field, current ID, and the field is okay. So now we have loaded all of our fields, and we need to start testing where we need to show our message. So to do this, we need to identify if the value show where is something like a specific page. So let's get the variable here and do the test. I really don't remember the name of the field, so let's see the value on a specific page. This is the string we are looking for. Let's go back and put this here. Now we need to test if the post ID that we pass by the Ajax is not empty. So let's do it and test if this is not empty. Post ID. Okay, cool. Once we have identified that we need to show in a specific page and we have some value set to the post ID, we need to see if this page that the user is accessing is the same that we define as the page to show the message. So let's do another test here and test the what page is the page that we want to show the message. So post ID. Maybe the Ajax call will send for us the post ID as a string. So I will convert this implicitly to an integer. Okay, so with this we have what we need to have to find and display the message on the right page. But let's think in other scenario, like the scenario where we want to show in all of the pages. So it's the same validation, but with a different value. And in this case, the string to validate is all pages. And that's it. So now we have built the main core about how to insert the message. But we need to get that template we built I think you remember that we built this template to show on the front end. And to do this, we need to create a new function and use this function inside our validations here. So I will create a new function, public, function, and I'll call this function something like a print message. And I will pass these values of my my message directly as a parameters for this function. So I will pass the content, of course. I will pass the background color. I will send the text color. And I need to send as well the text padding. Pause for my tea. In these cloudy days, it's perfect. Okay, so I will open an object, and inside this object, I will include my template. So include, again, going back to the main file of our plugin. Remember, we define as a constant the path of our plugin. So I will copy this. I will pass this here, and I will pass the path of our template, which in our case is TPL / template message. Message.php. Now I need to close and clean my object. But before to close and clean, I need to pass this for some variable, the value of this for some variable. So I'll call this message HTML. And I need to pass the object. I need to get the content of this object, contents. Okay, so now we have loaded inside this variable message HTML the content of our template with all the variables that we define here replaced inside that template. And we need, of course, we need to return this variable HTML. Okay, awesome. So now going back to our previous function, we can call directly our function and display our print message function, passing, of course, all of the values. The first one is the content. The second is the background color. The third one is the text color. And the last one is the padding. The message will display at the same way for all the pages. Okay, cool. I think we have something here that we can do better, like we can use some escapes to print this content. .tr. So I will copy and paste this here. And okay. Same here. Cool. Now it's a little bit better than before. Padding. Okay, so the last thing that we need to do here is to add the action directly on our constructor to make that the Ajax calls can reach this insert message here. So to do this, we go back to our constructor and we need to add a new action that will be the WP Ajax insert with the name of our class, insert message, and we need to pass an array with the value of our class and the name of our function. Normally I like to do this the same way for the no priv. Why and what is the difference? This one can be accessed only by the users that are logged in inside the system. And with this, with the no priv Ajax call, the user doesn't need to stay logged in inside the WordPress. Okay. And the last thing that we can do this is align a little bit better our code, set a proper tab, and maintain the proportions of our code. Done. Okay, I think that's it. So on the next lesson, we'll finally see this project running. We will add some style. We will set dynamically a JavaScript to display this on the front end. And again, this structure worked fine for me, and I hope this can work fine for you as well. And this is not a sponsored video. If you have any ideas about how to improve this or a better way to do something like that, let in the comments down below, and I will be glad to discuss with you about this. And don't forget to keep me motivated and creating new videos. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay tuned to the new videos. This is pretty much that I have for you today. See you guys next time.